Good evening, everyone. We will call the Oxnard City Council Community Services, Public Safety, Housing and Development Committee meeting to order for January 10th, 2023. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Chair McDonald,
Here.
Member Zaragoza,
Here.
we have a quorum, and the agenda for this meeting was posted on the City Hall Bulletin Board on January 3rd, 2022.
Okay, thank you very much. And Member Madrigal will be joining us virtually, hopefully very quickly. So, Mayor, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance,
Yes, sir. Please follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just going to make a couple real quick opening comments. I just wanted to thank, everybody knows that we've experienced a pretty heavy rainfall in the last week or so. And I just want to shout out to city staff, especially last night. I know that police department representatives were out there, fire department representatives were out there. In fact, I think Ventura and Oxnard both did some swift water rescues. Public Works had folks out, so the city was very well staffed to deal with any contingencies. We did have a couple minor things, but I think everything, went very smoothly. So to the staff of the city, thank you all for your efforts and your work. We appreciate while we're all hunkered down in a nice warm house that, you folks are out doing what you do best. So.
Thank you.
Okay, and then that will take us to item B, public comments and items not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, I don't have any speakers. Did anybody call in?
Chair McDonald, we do not have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you very much. Takes us to item C, consent agenda, the City Clerk Department, subject to approval of the minutes. The recommendation is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing and Development Committee approve the minutes of the December 13th, 2022 regular meeting as presented. And Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers on that item?
Chair McDonald, we do not have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you very much. Mayor, have you had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes, sir.
You okay with them?
Yes, sir. Make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it. And because we're going to do a virtual call-in, we'll do a roll call vote on this.
Member Zaragoza,
Yes.
Chair McDonald,
Yes.
motion passes 2-0.
Okay, thank you very much. That takes us to item D1, Public Works Department. Subject is Caltrans required local roadway safety plan. And the recommendation is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing and Development Committee, one, receive a presentation and comment on the local roadway safety plan, and two, recommend the City Council adopt the Caltrans required local roadway safety plan as final. And this item is not considered subject to CEQA, and Public Works and Transportation Committee has already approved this 2-0, and it's coming to us because there is a large public safety element to it. Pursuant to Measure M, there was a pre-recorded presentation on the city's YouTube channel, and I see Tatiana Arnaud, our city engineer, standing up. So would you like to make some opening comments on this?
Yes, sir. So this LRSP, which is the Local Roadway Safety Plan, was actually made possible by a Caltrans grant that we received in 2021. Subsequently, in April of 2021, we were able to award a contract to our consultants, Fair and Peers, who were actually the ones that the pre-recorded presentation, who did the pre-recorded presentation. So since then, they've been working very closely with several city staff members, including folks here that you see behind me in PD, and other fire and traffic and whatnot. So they also did work closely with Gold Coast Transit District, Ventura County Transportation Commission, Oxnard College, Oxnard School District, Oxnard Union High School District, and Real School District. So as you can tell, this has been a very collaborative effort, and it's been pushed forward by Debbie O'Leary, who is not here with us today, but I do want to acknowledge all of the hard work that she's put into this. And because it is a pre-recorded presentation, we do have our consultant here, but she will not be doing the full presentation here today. But she is here to answer any questions that you guys may have. We have traffic staff here as well, so our transportation services manager, Kumar Nepali, can answer some questions. And then naturally, as you mentioned, Mayor Pro Tem, we do have a large safety component, and that's why we're bringing it here to this committee today, and we have PD folks to answer any questions as well. So with that, I'll leave it to you.
Without doing a full presentation, I don't know if our consultant has anything to add, or we just run with this?
I don't have anything to add, but I'm happy to answer any questions that may come up tonight.
Okay. Mayor, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have some comments too. First of all, this is the LRSP, the local roadway safety plan. There was, I had the opportunity to be in the Public Works Committee when we approved this item 2-0. And my understanding that the local safety plan is basically to reduce fatalities and serious injuries, and it really is a safety program. And my understanding that we received a state grant for this project. And so as was mentioned by Tatiana, we had a lot of partners, that helped us out. And we had, the police and fire, we had Gulf Coast Transit, we had the schools and so forth working with us. And I think that this is really, really important in order to reduce injuries and so forth. One of the things that I saw in the presentation and heard was that there's the severity of the kill program was one of the top violations. Speed, I think, was the top violation in this the whole idea that we have here. And so some of the things that was mentioned to as Tatiana and also our consultant was the hotspots that they call the hotspots in the city, and I just name a few like Saviors Road, Oxnard Boulevard, Woolley Road, Ventura Road. Some of the hotspots where really we've had some really fatal injuries and some major injuries that we had to look at. And of course, the other ones was the recommendations that we look at the pedestrian and bicycle collisions, which I think are really important. And the other was the let me see in my notes here that there was a couple of chapters that were really important, important for that we should look at as the LRSP, which the safety system approach to chapter number 1, the vision goal of the plan, and also the safety partners that we talked about, the stakeholders, and the existing efforts that we have in the city of Oxnard, and also the number 5 as safety analysis, and again, to share that speed was probably one of the worst drivers, if we want to call that, and of course, it was a good presentation, long presentation, but again, I got to see it again, even though I saw it with the Public Works Committee, but I just want to thank staff and all the public safety officials and Public Works and our also our consultant for an excellent job that I think it's important that we take this to the entire city council.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I'll echo those comments. I won't repeat them all because I think you did a very good job of synopsizing this whole subject. So that being said, I would move the recommended action.
Chair McDonald?
I'm sorry, do we have any speakers on this?
No, we do not have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Okay.
Thank you, and I'll second that.
I almost got away with it. Thank you. Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Chair McDonald?
Yes.
Member Zaragoza?
Yes.
Motion passes 2-0.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. To our
Thank you.
consultant. That takes us to item number 2, Police Department Mobile Command Vehicle Purchase. And the recommendation is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing and Development Committee recommend that City Council 1 approve and authorize the purchasing agent to execute a purchase order with Emergency Vehicles Incorporated, EVI, in the amount of $698,500, or 600, okay, time to get new glasses here.
698.
$698,513,912, or 912. Man, that's a lot of money. Two, approve the purchase and use of the mobile command vehicle as military equipment as defined by Government Code Section 7070, paren 5. And then there was a pre-recorded Measure M required YouTube presentation that was available on the city's video channel. And Commander, I don't know if you have any introductory comments or not on this?
Yeah, good evening. I'm Tim Kelly, one of the commanders of the police department. I actually need to make a correction on the cost of the purchase. Recently, the price that we were quoted, the proposal expired. So the cost was $698,000. I'm sorry, $698,513, and it increased by $1,400. So it's now $700,094.
700,000, how much?
94.
94?
Yes.
Okay, so the 698 million number in here.
No,
Not right, huh?
no.
Okay, well, we're close. Okay, so what's our actual price then again, is amended?
700,094.
Okay.
75 cents.
794,000.
Yeah, 700,094.
Oh,
75
700,000.
cents.
Yeah, that's a much better number than what's written in this,
Yes, really.
agenda. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, Mayor, any questions?
Yeah, Officer Kelly, my understanding is this, that vehicle was purchased in 2000, which is about 21 years old, and also that the current command vehicle is no longer equipped with the technology that you need, or the police chief needs, or the department, in order to meet the police department mission.
Correct.
And additionally, the new command vehicle will assist the police department to meet that mission, which is really important. Again, the vehicle is probably outdated to the point that it really does help us to the point that we need.
Correct. And that's about the lifespan of
The
those
lifespan.
types of vehicles, is about 20 years.
Is it also just the equipment in itself that really needs to be upgraded?
Exactly. Yes, it's mainly the technological equipment inside.
Mr. Chair, the only question I have is, Officer Kelly, is how come they call it a military equipment?
That, when AB 41 passed at the beginning of 2022, that was one of the things defined as military equipment was any type of command and control vehicle. So by that definition, it's technically considered military equipment.
But just for the public understanding, it's really, we don't use it as military, we just use it for police work.
Yes, it's basically a large RV with communications equipment, computers,
It's not
monitors.
militarized in any way, shape, or fashion, but
That's-
for the definition of state law, we have to include it under that section, although it's, in my mind, being around the military quite a bit, it is not a military vehicle.
But I wanted to qualify that, make sure that the public understand that it's not military, for military use.
No. No.
you.
It's strictly civilian use. It's manufactured for civilian agencies, and
Thank you.
like I said, it's basically
It's
almost,
needed
almost
for,
like a motorhome.
it's needed to complete the police mission of the Oxnard PD.
Exactly.
Thank you, thank you.
I have no questions, so, thank you very much, Commander.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, as amended in terms of the price.
It's amended for the price, and it was 700, you want to repeat that number again?
She caught me again. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers on this item?
Chair McDonald, we do not have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Okay, I'll catch on to this
We'll
eventually.
keep going to
I
repeat the
apologize.
number again, the
All
correct
right, here
number.
we go. 700,094. I'm sorry, 700,094, 75 cents.
So that'd be part of my motion.
Okay, 700,094.75, you said?
700,094, 75 cents.
Thank you.
You know, it always amazes me when we're talking almost $1 million that we have to have 75 cents in there.
That's
somewhere.
75 cents.
But-
Madam Clerk, you have that number? You're okay? Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
excellent. Thank you very much. Roll call, please,
Roll call.
on the,
Chair McDonald, who made the motion?
I did, oh,
Zaragoza.
the mayor did.
Okay. Member Zaragoza?
Yes.
Chair McDonald?
Yes.
Motion passes 2-0.
Okay, thank you very
And
much.
thank you to the PD. Thank you for good work.
And thank you again for all your work last night, because I know it's miserable being out there in the rain and everything else, so good job on everyone's behalf. Takes us to item number 3, Housing Department. And the subject is First Amendment to Agreement A, Adam 8434 for Housing Professional Services. And the recommendation is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing, and Development Committee recommend that the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners approve and authorize the execution of the First Amendment to Agreement A-8434, increasing the amount from $200,000 to $400,000 and extending the term by 1 year with Nan McKay and Associates Incorporated for Housing Choice Voucher Case Management Services. And pursuant to Measure M, there was a pre-recorded video of the presentation on the city's YouTube channel. And Mr. Ramirez, you have any opening comments?
Thank you, Chairman, committee members. This is an item continuing the ARPA allocation for the use of ARPA designated housing choice vouchers. So the original allocation was $400,000, and we're using the last of that $400,000 in this amendment.
Questions?
Yeah, it's my understanding too that, that this First Amendment is going from 200,000 to 400,000.
Yes, Nan McKay is a operational consultant for housing authorities nationwide, and they do everything from actually run the program to provide consultancy services on operations. So we hired them to be interim staff while we staff up and catch up from COVID.
So my understanding that we have about 1,904 people for the housing choice vouchers for low income that was used during the COVID-19 to minimize that or to help out with COVID-19.
We have close to 2,500 vouchers that we offer assistance on. And because of COVID and we were not in the office and et cetera, and a bunch of reasons, we just fell behind. Not necessarily in the use of the COVID-specific vouchers, but in the general operation of the program. And so they're helping us to catch up.
And the Department of Housing and Urban Department also helped out, right? According to your report, yeah.
They gave us more vouchers.
More vouchers. And of course, one of the things I think that I saw was that this change is really required to get you back to resume your normal operations.
That's really the point of the original allocation from home ARPA. In as much as the ARPA legislation and the CARES Act legislation allocated new vouchers to respond to the COVID pandemic in the homeless field. So we got more vouchers, mainstream vouchers, EHV vouchers, different kinds of vouchers that we were using. At the same time, our staff was not in the office, and for a bunch of reasons, we have not up-to-date technology that allows them to work effectively from home. So we just fell behind.
So that helps you
allows
back,
us to catch up.
go back to normal, to
Right, correct.
resume your. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see if I can get the order of this event right. Madam Clerk, do we have any callers or speakers?
Chair McDonald, we don't have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Success.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Madam Clerk, we have a motion by the mayor, and I'll be the second. Roll call, please.
Member Zaragoza?
Yes.
Chair McDonald?
Yes,
Motion passes 2-0.
thank you so much. That takes us to item number 4, Housing Department. Subject is First Amendment to Agreement 9660-22-HO for Housing Contracts Administration Services. And the recommendation is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing, and Community Development Committee recommend that 1, that City Council approve and authorize execution of the First Amendment to the Agreement 9660-22-HO with Michael Baker International to increase the not-to-exceed amount from $120,000 to $481,000. And two, that the Housing Board of Commissioners approve and authorize the use of up to $164,000 in Housing Authority funds to pay for housing contracts, administration, services under Agreement 9660-22-HO. And pursuant to Measure M, there was a pre-recorded presentation on the city's YouTube channel. And Mr. Ramirez, do you have any opening comments on this, or?
This is a necessary part of complying with grant funds when we contribute funding for construction projects, in this case 6, all from the federal government, in this case both from the Housing Authority and from the city. We are required to ensure that they meet federal regulations, the payment of Davis-Bacon wages and things like that. And so this is using those sources of grant funds, federal sources of grant funds, to ensure that we're complying with those regulations.
Okay, thank you very much. Mayor, any questions?
Yeah, well, the monies are going from $120,000 to $481,000. And that's correct for the contracts, the different contracts that you have from environmental to capital items and so forth.
That's correct. I mean, when you put them all together, it's quite a bit of money for sure. But on an individual basis, let's say, for example, Edding Road is an affordable housing project that is being constructed in town. The city did contribute a good amount of money towards the project. And because of that, we are required to ensure that they're paying federal prevailing wages and things like that. So we're incurring an expense of $71,000 to ensure that that project is complying with the federal regulations and the use of the federal funds.
So you have quite a few. You have Cypress Road, Las Cortes, and Gabriel's House, and et cetera, and et cetera. So, and the other item I think that you have too is $164,000 for administration consultant. This is as needed, is that correct? Or is that an on-call basis?
Yes, I mean, in as much as sometimes the individual needs are small and with a quick turnaround, and we don't have enough time to come to council, and for that matter, on that specific individual thing, it's too small a price tag. For example, sometimes we need to do, I don't know, let's call it a preliminary NEPA assessment, and so we're talking about $3,000 to do that, and it may or may not result in an actual project, but we still have to do that assessment to be able to figure that out, and so we're using funds to do that.
Which I think is smart too, because it keeps you in compliance and keeps you in the right track, and whatever project you're.
It's a requirement. We have to do it.
Right.
In addition to which, they give us the money to do it. So.
To do so, yeah. And also, I think I had a couple of bidders. My understanding that you have Michael Baker, and also the Randy. Is that Randy contract?
Rainey,
excuse me.
The two consultants that we have on a list that we go back and forth depending on the scope of services is Michael Baker International and Rainey, and so both of them offer the similar forms of consultancy services.
And Mr. Chair, I think Rainey is only 80,000, right?
Yeah, it's a smaller amount because this is lesser scope. Where Michael Baker does a complete scope, they do environmental review, labor compliance, everything.
Right.
And Rainey does not, and so the Michael Baker amount is just larger.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of work here, and looking at each individual project, it's not really a lot of money, but it's money that has to be expended according to the Housing Authority rules.
I mean, it absolutely has to happen, but honestly, it's a credit to the department and the department staff. And I mean, you're looking at a lot of projects right there, and they're all happening at the same time.
That's right.
It's a lot of units that are being built and ramped up over the past 3 years and happen to be hit at the same time. And it's got to be a headache for them to be doing all that work at the same time.
Yeah, you have 9 big projects. That's very significant. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any additional questions, so I would move the recommended action.
Second?
Chair McDonald, about the speakers. We do not have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
I thought, I didn't ask that already?
You
And I
did.
ruined my perfect record.
I know you were gonna say.
I'm sorry, thank you very much. Okay, I made the motion, the mayor did the
Second.
second. A roll call, please.
Chair McDonald,
Yes,
Member Zaragoza,
Yes,
motion passes 2-0.
Thank you.
thank you.
thank you so much. That takes us to item E, items for future agendas. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers on this item?
Chair McDonald, we do not have any speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Okay, good.
None.
I got two of them right out of the whole night, so thank you very much. Nothing?
No, thank you.
I have nothing. That takes us to item F, adjournment. We are adjourned. Thank you all for your time and efforts.
Thank you.